And hello everyone, welcome back to another Pascal tutorial. So in this tutorial we'll be taking a look at for loops. Now a loop is when you need to, let's say, execute a few commands for a certain amount of times. So let's say you're writing a script that will select each and every menu or each and every item on the menu when you go order pizza. Now, since it needs to do the same thing basically multiple times, it will use a loop to loop over the amount of times it needs to do it. So, pepperoni pizza, scroll down. Pineapple pizza, scroll down. Chili pizza, scroll down. And so on and so forth. So it will constantly repeat the same things, and that is a for loop, or that's a loop in general. Now let's create a variable I, which is an integer, and let's create our first for loop. So for I becomes 1 to the value 10, so it will count up. Then do the following. We're going to use a begin and end, and we can say write line I. Now if we were to run it, and we were to resize this, you'll see we get the values 1 up until 10. So I became 1, and then for each value up until 10, it printed that value. So this means we can do something like write line hello world. Now let's say we want to print hello world out 50 times to the console. 1 to 50. Now if we were to run this, we'll get a bunch of hello worlds 50 times. You can also count downwards. So let's say you want to start from 30 and you want to count downwards, so down to the value 20. Well, then you can. So now we can display I here. We run it. It counts from 30 down to 20. Might even just want to put it here on the side. That might even be better. Now, loops have some pretty neat features. Now, let's say if we reach the value 25, we want to skip the loop. Well, we can. So if we go here, we can say if I is 25, then continue. That means anything past this continue when I is 25 will be skipped and it will go to the next loop. So if we were to run this, you'll see we get 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. And I actually have to save the program, otherwise it won't do the changes. Now I'll see 28, 27, 26, 24. So it skipped this right line once it reached continue. We can even go right line, run, just to show you that it only affects everything after continue. So if we run it now, run will still happen, see here, twice, but 25 will not happen because anything after this continue is skipped and it goes to the next iteration. This is a good place to maybe use mod. So if I mod 2 is equal to 0. Now take a look at this cool thing. Now if we run this, we'll get each value that is not an even number. If you want to get only the even values, then we can do that. So if I mod 2 is not equal to 0, then you'll only get the even values, and the rest will be skipped. This is also a nice place just to show you how mod works, because I have explained it a little bit, but I haven't really gone into depth with it. And then finally, break. Break is very similar to continue, as it doesn't continue anything afterwards. So anything after break will not execute. The difference is if break is hit, then the entire for loop will stop. For example, I can go write line begin and then just write line end here. If I run this, and let's change break to continue again. If I run this, then we'll get begin and it runs all the way till the end, and then we'll get end. However, if we were to say break instead of continue, then we'll get this begin 30 end. So let's do something a little less complex. Let's say if I is equal to 25, break. Run that. Once we get to 25, then it breaks out of this for loop and it doesn't execute the rest of it. Where continue, we just skip an iteration. Break will quit out of this for loop, but it will still continue with the code after this loop. So break stops the loop and continue just skips an iteration of the loop. When we did the math tutorial, I said that modulo is very useful in something like the Fizzbuzz program. Now let's actually do this Fizzbuzz program now that we have the skills for it, because this will teach you a little bit about for loops as well as how to use modulo. So let's say we have a program that counts from 1 to 100. Now this program, whenever we reach 3, we should say, it should print out fizz. Whenever we say, or whenever it's at 5, it should print out buzz. And whenever it's at any iteration, so this is like any iteration of 3, so this would be 3, 6, 9, 12. So any iteration of 3, including 15, we can go there. And this is any iteration of 5, so 5, 10, 15, and so on. 20, whatever. But when it hits an iteration that's both 3 and 5, we should say Fizzbuzz. So this would be something like 15 is both 3 and 5. That will produce Fizzbuzz. Same with 30. 30 is also between 3 and 5, so 30 will also give Fizzbuzz. Now let's write a program for that. So first of all, we want to loop for I becomes 1 to 100, begin and end. So we have our for loop. Now, let's say we want to get each of the values that is divisible by 3, right? Now you could go and you could try and write ln, go something like I divided by 3. This is like a valid command. And if you run it, you'll get this, but as you can see, it's not very useful. It's incredibly confusing what's actually going on. And if we were to just maybe print out I before it, then you can get an idea of what we're actually looking at. So now, bloop, we go like this. As you can see, there are ways to figure it out, like which one is a number in 3 and which one is not. But it's somewhat difficult to get that. So what we could do is we could say, if I modulo 3 is equal to 0, then begin and end and your right line fizz. So now if we were to just also right line I, and we were to run this, and I'll explain this in a second, and that's not for equals, that's JavaScript only, and it's 1 equal in Pascal. And I forgot my semicolons as well. Okay, now it should work. There we go. So now it prints out 3, we get fizz, 6, we get fizz, 9. So each iteration of 3, it prints out. The reason for this is, as I said, modulus would go like this. So if we have, let's say, 3 divided by 3, right? Now the leftover of that is 0, because once you divide by 3, there's no like dot left. But let's say we have 2 divided by 3. Now that will give you 0. I believe it's like this. And in this case, we can tell that this has a res. So as we go like from school, this would be 0 res2. And this would be 0 res0. And if we were to go 1 divided by 3, this would be 0.3333, and that will translate to 0 res1. And let's say we were to do 7 divided by 3, and as well as 9 divided by 3. Then 7 divided by 3 will become, and I'm just going to skip the middleman, and we can just go straight to res. That will be 2 res1, because 3, 6, and then there's a 7, but it can't go to 9. So there's 1 left that cannot be divided into 3. And here it would be 3 res 0. And remember, modulus gives you this res, this res. So that is like what's left over. So now each time we hit this, we hit where I can modulo 3 is equal to 0, meaning I can be divided into 3. Then we get this. If we were to, let's say, print out I mod 3, and we were to just ignore this one here, well, we'll see we get this 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, because these are the leftover, so nothing left over, raise 0. Then here, 1 left over, raise 1. 2 left over, raise 2. But this can never be more than 2. Why? Because once it hits 3, it hits back to 0, because that means there's no res left. Like with 9, 0, 1, or it's 1, 2, and in 3. 3 divided by 3 will give you a res of 0, meaning it starts at 0 again. Then 1, because then it's 4, 5, which both is 1 and then 2, and then 6 would be 0 again, because 6 can be divided into 3. Anyhow, so that is the basics of modulus. Now let's continue. So now we have this. So each time we have a fizz, it will print out. We can copy this, and we can do the same with 5. So if I mod 5, then we want to say buzz. Now if we run this, we get Fizzbuzz, 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 Fizzbuzz. But currently, we should also print out, let's say we also print out just the numbers that should be displayed here. So here, let's just go and create a variable called, which is a boolean. Now, called by default is false, so called becomes false. Now, if either one of these are called, then called becomes true. Then after this, we can say if called, then write, and we can just write \n. Then here we can just say write, and now if we take a look at this, or maybe we should just say write line here. Maybe \n isn't quite what we expect. Then here we're already getting Fizzbuzz, where 2 of them will be together. So we go to the top here, we get, so this would be the first one, so that'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so both of them fizz and buzz. So if called, we can just say write line. Else, we can say write line and then I. We run this now, and of course we should set called to false at the beginning of each loop, otherwise it will always be true once it's set to true. Now we run this, look at this. So this is Fizzbuzz, 1, 2, fizz, because this is divisible by 3. 4, buzz, because this is divisible by 5, so 5. 6, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11, fizz, 13, 14, fizz, and buzz, because 15 is divisible by both 5 and 3. So this is where modulus can become really handy. In this example like Fizzbuzz. There are multiple ways to do Fizzbuzz, but I find using modulus the easiest way. And now you also did a little bit with for loops, and you can also go down to, if you wanted to. So 100 down to 1. Now run it, plop. Then as you can see, it works exactly as it should, even if it goes backwards. Cool, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next Pascal tutorial.